We've heard of the wonders of the world, but there's one mystery that still leaves the entire world stunned and questioning. Who created these enormous drawings on this barren land? These mysterious images on the Nazca Desert, so vast they can only be seen from above, make us wonder, are they just an ancient work of art, or is there a deeper secret hidden beneath? Created by the mysterious Nazca civilization, these geoglyphs might hold the key to a story about faith, life, and death, or perhaps a prayer that has lasted for thousands of years. But can we truly understand the true purpose behind these designs? Are they simply remnants of history or a message from a lost civilization? Welcome to today's video, where we will dive into one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world, the Nazca Lines. Are you ready to decode it? Stretching across the arid desert plains of the Nazca Plateau in southern Peru, the colossal figures known as the Nazca Lines have captivated archaeologists and history enthusiasts for over a century. These are geoglyphs, massive ground drawings, created by removing the dark surface layer of soil to reveal the lighter-colored earth beneath. Thanks to the desert's extremely dry, windless, and rainless climate, these figures have remained remarkably preserved for more than 1,500 years. The Nazca Lines first came to broad public attention in the early 20th century, when pilots on aerial survey flights accidentally noticed strange patterns etched into the desert floor. From above, a mysterious world unfolded. Hundreds of figures in various shapes emerged, ranging from straight lines stretching over kilometers to intricate depictions of animals such as monkeys, hummingbirds, spiders, and killer whales, as well as enigmatic abstract and geometric designs. Some of these geoglyphs measure up to 370 meters in length, so vast that they cannot be fully appreciated from ground level. Since their discovery in the early 20th century, the massive drawings on the Nazca Plateau have become one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in the world. With hundreds of geoglyphs scattered across the vast desert of southern Peru, the most pressing questions have always been, who created these giant figures? And more importantly, why? From the beginning, researchers have proposed various theories to explain the purpose and meaning of the geoglyphs. Some suggest the drawings may have functioned as a massive astronomical calendar used to track the movements of the sun, the moon, and constellations. Others believe they were part of an ancient road system, or possibly irrigation channels and markers for an intelligent water management system, critical for survival in the harsh desert environment where the ancient Nazca people lived. One of the most prominent figures in the study of the Nazca Lines was Maria Rietzsch, a German mathematician and archaeologist who dedicated over 50 years of her life to researching these enigmatic figures while living in the desert. Known as the Lady of the Lines, Rietzsch played a crucial role in preserving, documenting, and raising awareness about the cultural importance of the site. According to her, many of the straight lines and geometric shapes aligned with astronomical events such as the winter and summer solstices, as well as the rising of specific constellations. She theorized that the Nazca people used the lines as a tool for tracking time and scheduling their agricultural cycles. However, due to limitations in her research methods and a lack of quantifiable data, her theory was never standardized in academic circles and was gradually dismissed as lacking scientific rigor. By the 1970s, supernatural and unconventional theories began to flourish, capturing the imagination of the global public. The most famous among these came from the book Chariots of the Gods by Erich von Däniken. In it, Däniken controversially suggested that the Nazca Lines might have been landing strips or welcoming signals for extraterrestrials, beings believed to have visited Earth and guided ancient people in constructing monumental structures. This idea of alien civilizations intervening in human history spread rapidly, not only through literature but also through films, television, and pop culture. However, such theories have been largely rejected by mainstream scientists due to a lack of credible archaeological evidence. There are no material traces of advanced technology or extraterrestrial presence in the Nazca region. Instead, modern researchers believe the Nazca people created the geoglyphs using simple tools like wooden stakes and ropes, a method entirely achievable with careful planning and human coordination, without the need for modern technology or otherworldly intervention. Despite the ongoing debate and lack of a definitive conclusion, it is precisely this ambiguity that makes the Nazca Lines such a fascinating topic, where science and imagination walk hand in hand on a journey to unlock the secrets of the past. In the journey to unravel the mystery of the giant drawings across the Nazca Desert, archaeologists have focused their research on an ancient civilization that once thrived in this region around 2,000 years ago, the Nazca people. This was an indigenous culture that flourished in southern Peru, predating even the famous Inca Empire. Despite living in a harsh and arid environment, the Nazca skillfully settled near precious water sources and made use of the scarce fertile alluvial soil to develop agriculture. The Nazca were masterful farmers. They developed an advanced system of underground aqueducts and canals, known as puquios, to bring groundwater to the surface for cultivation, demonstrating a deep understanding of their environment and irrigation engineering. This allowed them to grow crops and sustain a stable society right in the heart of the desert. Beyond their agricultural prowess, the Nazca were also renowned for their exquisite craftsmanship. They are best known for their vividly colored ceramics adorned with unique patterns depicting scenes of daily life, religious rituals, and mythical symbols. Their jars, bowls, and ceramic masks were crafted with high precision and artistic value, reflecting a sophisticated level of artistic development for an ancient society. Most remarkably, the Nazca appear to have possessed mathematical and geometric knowledge sufficient to design and construct the enormous geoglyphs we now call the Nazca Lines. The creation of figures stretching hundreds of meters while maintaining accurate proportions indicates a society capable of effective labor organization, spatial thinking, and a strong cultural or ceremonial motivation driving such a creative endeavor. One of the most astonishing aspects of the Nazca Lines is how ancient people managed to create them without modern technology or an aerial viewpoint. In reality, the Nazca employed a simple yet effective method to etch hundreds of massive images into the desert landscape. The geoglyphs, large-scale ground drawings, were created by removing the dark, oxidized stones that coated the desert surface, revealing the lighter-colored sand beneath. When sunlight shines down, the contrast between the two soil layers creates clear and striking lines. Thanks to the dry, windless climate, these drawings have remained remarkably well preserved for over 1,500 years. The Nazca did not need a bird's eye view to produce these giant images. They used basic tools such as ropes, wooden stakes, and elementary surveying techniques to scale up drawings from small models to enormous figures on the ground. This process required a solid grasp of mathematics and geometry, as well as tightly coordinated teamwork. The precision and vast scale of the geoglyphs revealed that the Nazca were not only skilled artisans and farmers, but also engineers with exceptional spatial awareness. These lines stand as a powerful testament to the intelligence and creativity of an ancient civilization that thrived in the unforgiving desert landscape. Modern archaeological research suggests that the enormous geoglyphs on the Nazca Desert are not just ancient artworks or unique engineering feats, but also carry deep religious significance. For the Nazca people, a civilization living in the harsh, arid conditions of the desert, water was a vital resource. Therefore, many of the geoglyphs are believed to be directly related to rituals for rain, water worship, and elements crucial to survival. Researchers have identified that many of the drawings depict creatures closely associated with water or fertility. For example, the hummingbird, one of the most prominent symbols, is seen as a representation of life and death, two concepts intertwined in ancient beliefs. This bird often appears when plants bloom, signaling the rainy season and new life. Additionally, animals such as killer whales, monkeys, and spiders are also depicted in giant proportions, and many theories suggest that these are not just representations of nature but sacred symbols connected to water, fertility, and the richness of the land. More importantly, the geoglyphs were not just static images on the ground. Some of the long lines stretching for kilometers are believed to be sacred paths where the Nazca people conducted rituals, walking along predetermined routes to connect with the divine. These processions may have served as symbolic communications between humans and supernatural forces, asking for favorable weather, bountiful harvests, and protection from the gods. Over time, the religious significance of these drawings became increasingly solidified as a crucial part of the Nazca people's spiritual life, reflecting their beliefs, hopes, and the sacred relationship between humans and the cosmos. Not far from the area of the famous Nazca geoglyphs, Cahuachi is one of the most important archaeological sites associated with the ancient Nazca civilization. Although often called the city of Cahuachi, this location was not a permanent settlement, but rather a vast ceremonial center, dedicated to the religious and sacred activities of the Nazca people. Cahuachi consists of several adobe structures, such as step pyramids, ceremonial courtyards, and functional rooms, spread across a vast area at the edge of the desert. According to archaeologists, it was once the most important pilgrimage site for the Nazca people. For centuries, people from across the region gathered here to perform worship rituals, including human sacrifices, offerings of pottery, food, and precious items. These rituals were believed to be intended to appease the gods, particularly the water god, in the context of the harsh climate and scarce resources. Many valuable artifacts have been excavated at Cahuachi, including clay models, intricately decorated ceramics, finely woven textiles, and ritual masks. These items not only reflect the high level of craftsmanship of the Nazca, but also show a clear connection between the geoglyphs on the desert floor and the rituals held at this center. Some of the clay models even mimic the shapes of the geoglyphs, suggesting that the Nazca may have used them as part of religious ceremonies or as images to convey religious messages. Recent archaeological discoveries continue to reinforce the religious and ritual role of the entire Nazca Line area. With the advancement of modern technology, particularly techniques such as photogrammetry, scientists have been able to recreate detailed 3D models of the desert landscape. Through analyzing images from satellites, drones, and digital terrain data, researchers have discovered that the number of geoglyphs far exceeds previous records, reaching around 50,000 drawings spread across a vast area. One important finding from the 3D models and field surveys is the presence of altars or ceremonial pits at the center or ends of the geoglyphs, especially at the large trapezoidal shapes. In these pits, archaeologists found various ritual offerings, such as spiral-shaped shells, a common symbol associated with water and the sea. These shells, which are not naturally found in the Nazca Desert, had to be brought from the coast, highlighting their importance in rituals. The presence of these items strengthens the hypothesis that the geoglyphs were not merely symbolic images, but also sacred locations where rituals for rain, water, and cosmic fertility were performed. Interestingly, although there are no massive stone structures like the pyramids of Egypt or the Easter Island statues, the Nazca left their mark directly on the Earth's surface, marks that are most visible from above. The use of simple tools, mathematical knowledge, and large-scale religious ceremonies demonstrates a developed society with a structured hierarchy and profound spiritual beliefs. Today, thanks to the integration of traditional archaeology and modern technology, the world is gaining a clearer understanding of the complexity and depth of the Nazca civilization. These new discoveries not only provide a better understanding of the spiritual life and social organization of the ancient people, but also raise many intriguing unanswered questions, making the Nazca Lines one of humanity's most captivating mysteries. Between the 5th and 7th centuries AD, the Nazca civilization began to enter a period of decline. This collapse did not occur suddenly, but was the result of a series of harsh environmental changes and prolonged crises, which gradually caused them to lose the ability to sustain life and the religious rituals that were the core of their society. Archaeological evidence and modern geological analysis show that the Nazca people faced several successive natural disasters. Severe flooding caused by El Niño events, followed by extended droughts, devastated their farming system, which relied on underground water sources and their complex irrigation channels. Additionally, seismic activities such as earthquakes caused significant damage to infrastructure and water sources. As a result, their living environment increasingly became desertified, with trees no longer thriving and the soil becoming barren. Faced with uncontrollable natural changes, the Nazca people seem to have responded by intensifying their religious activities. Evidence of this includes the increase in the number of geoglyphs during the final stages of the civilization. Some scholars believe that adding more drawings on the desert, including symbols related to water, life, and sacred animals, may have been a desperate attempt by the Nazca to appeal for help from the gods. They believed that by increasing the scale of their rituals and religious symbols, they could restore the natural balance and the protection of the supernatural world. However, all their efforts seemed to fail. The climate continued to grow harsher, and the worsening water shortages forced the Nazca to abandon areas of residence and sacred ritual sites like Cahuachi and the geoglyph regions. By the 7th century AD, the Nazca civilization had nearly disappeared entirely from the historical map, leaving behind one of the most mysterious and controversial legacies of the ancient world. Though it has faded for thousands of years, the importance of the Nazca people is still remembered through the enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert. These drawings are not only works of art or engineering feats, but also vivid proof of a society with a deeply embedded belief system, developed religion, and a special relationship with nature. For the Nazca, these long lines stretching for kilometers were not just images, they were their way of communicating with the divine, expressing hopes, fears, and prayers. In 1994, the Nazca Lines were recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and remain a subject of lively study in the fields of archaeology, astronomy, and religious studies. Although many theories have been proposed, from agricultural beliefs to astronomical hypotheses, many questions remain unanswered. How could they design such perfect images without a view from above? Did all geoglyphs hold religious meaning, or could there be other practical functions yet to be discovered? Although some of the mysteries have gradually been explained through modern technologies such as satellite imaging, 3D photography, and digital archaeology, the Nazca Lines remain a complex phenomenon that exceeds the scope of single hypotheses. It is the combination of art, religion, mathematics, and their relationship with the natural environment that makes the geoglyphs one of humanity's most fascinating mysteries, an eternal legacy from pre-Columbian times and a whisper still echoing from a lost civilization.